I'm 18 years old, and I'm waiting for Arthur to propose. Over the past 2 months, the halls of my school have been filled with theatrical displays of affection as the grade 12 boys ask their counterparts to prom. As a teenage girl, getting proposed to is going to be the pinnacle of my existence. Except Arthur is kind of cutting it close. We're a week away from prom, and when I push him about it, he says he's just getting things ready. But that's probably a good sign. It means it's going to be a really elaborate promposal. At this point, Arthur and I had been together for 2 years. He was a musician who modeled on the side, and he was so intellectual and kind. We were perfect together. And we even had our whole future planned out. You see, we're both going to the same university in Montreal. I'm going to study business, and he's going to study electroacoustics. After we graduate, I'm going to get a high-powered corporate job, and I'm going to fund our life as he works towards becoming a famous musician. He's really talented. We were so in love, and honestly, I'm just feeling so lucky that I found my soulmate this early in life. He is truly the key to my future happiness. A couple days later, we're sitting on my bed when he turns to me and he goes, "Maddy, I don't know if I'm gonna go to university anymore." And I'm like, "What? But that's the plan." If you couldn't tell by now, I love a good plan. Anyways, he's like, "Yeah, no, I know, it's just like the world, it's so confusing, and I don't know, I think I just wanna travel the world, you know?" And I was like, "No, Arthur, I don't know. What about our plan? You can't just bail on that." And he's like, "Maddy, you don't get it. You're holding me back." Business and music, the world's apart. It's never gonna work between us. "Arthur, are you telling me that you want to break up?" "Yes," he says. "Exactly." I'm shocked. Immediately, I hit him with one of the, "You are never going to find anybody better than me." But then I remember how great he is, and I'm like, no, actually, never mind. Please just stay with me. We can work this out." But he gets up, and he walks out the door. Over the next 2 months, I am a mess. I'm crying every day because I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to be happy without him, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be okay. But thank God for my best friend, Nikki. She's this 4'10" little ball of anxious energy, but ever since we were 6 years old, she has always known exactly what to say to calm me down and lift me up. And thank double God that she is going to go to university with me, and we're going to be roommates in residence. Fortunately, Arthur is also going to be in residence because apparently he changed his mind about the whole traveling the world thing. But looking on the positives, it's a 500-person residence. I'm probably never even going to see him. Finally, move-in day comes. After the 6-hour drive to Montreal, me and Nikki are walking down the 4th floor hall in search of our room. On each door, there's a piece of paper that says the occupant's name and what they're studying. We find our room, and we decide to keep wandering a bit, just to check the place out. And that's when I see it, 3 doors away from mine, in big, bold letters. Arthur, Electroacoustic Studies. Over the next 2 weeks, I drink a lot. I'm legal for the first time in my life in Montreal, and I'm trying to be social and make friends, and I'm trying to forget about you-know-who. And I'm also trying my hardest to look the hottest I have ever looked. Every day, I'm wearing red lipstick, I have a new little French bob haircut, I'm wearing a little dress and booties, which I'm now realizing is oddly similar to what I'm wearing right now. That's besides the point. Despite both of these efforts, I have neither forgotten about Arthur nor been reclaimed by him. I see him in the halls sometimes, but I'm often met with a tight smile or a quiet hello. And then, one night, it's 2 a.m., and a strange sense of hope and, let's be honest, liquid courage is flooding through me. And I think maybe tonight will be the night that Arthur realizes we are meant to be together. So I stumble to his door and I knock. He opens the door. The first thing I see is a giant tattoo on his arm of 2 snakes eating a heart. And I think, who are you? And I look up, and that's when I see the girl. She's tall, and she's looming in the back of the room. She's got this long black hair, thick eyeliner, and these big black oversized clothes. And she's just staring at me. "What are you doing here, Maddy?" Arthur says. I scramble. I wanted to see your new tattoo." "Well, you've seen it. I think you should leave." And he closes the door in my face. I go back to my bedroom and I lie down on my bed. I'm crushed. All I wanted was to be with him, and all he wanted was for me to leave. And clearly, he's moved on. He doesn't care about me. And now, I'm never gonna be happy again, and I'm never gonna be okay. The next night, I go out again. And this time, I get especially sloshed. It's 3 a.m., and by the time I get home, I go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom stall, and I realize I have a bit of a situation. You see, I was on my period, and it was only my second ever period using tampons. I'd avoided them up until this point because of the terrifying tales told in health class about toxic shock syndrome, which, for the men in the room, is essentially when you leave a tampon in you for too long and it poisons you and you die. But it seemed like an adult thing to do, so I decided to give it a try before university. So now, here I am in this bathroom stall, and I'm thinking to myself, God, I really need to make the switch, but honestly, I think I'm too drunk to be able to figure out this applicator. I'm just gonna make the switch first thing in the morning. When I wake up the next morning, I am nauseous as all hell, but I run to the bathroom. I need to get this thing out of me. I go to grab the string, but I can't seem to find it. Take a look down there, and oh my God, the tampon, it's not there. And that's when I realize, oh my God, my body has absorbed the tampon. Somehow my womb has sucked it up, it's gonna live there forever, and I'm going to get toxic shock syndrome, and I am going to die. I run back to the room. Nikki's there, and she's working on some project that she has due for tomorrow, which is this sensory thing where she has to blindfold someone and take them for a walk, but I cut her off. "Holy shit, Nikki," I say. "I have a tampon stuck inside of me, and I am going to die." Tears start streaming down my face. Immediately, she goes into fixer mode. "Okay, just relax. I have a hand mirror and a pair of tweezers. You'll be able to get it with this." So I plop down onto the linoleum floor and take off my underwear, and I start looking around. There's blood everywhere, and I still cannot find this goddamn string. My face is getting hot, and I'm very nauseous, and my breathing is shallow, and I'm just so homesick, and nothing is okay. I keep trying for the next 2 hours. I try, and I try, and I try, and nothing is happening. Eventually, Eventually, Nikki turns to me, and she's like, "Mads, I think we have to go to the emergency room." So we Uber to the nearest hospital, and we head straight to the triage desk. The woman working is like, "So what brings you here?" And I'm like, then she points to the waiting room, and we have a seat down. And immediately I'm like, how could I be this stupid? I knew I shouldn't have used tampons. God, I shouldn't have got that drunk either. What is wrong with me? And to cheer me up, Nikki starts showing me videos on her phone. Funny ones at that. And we start giggling a bit, and, we're giggling some more. And it's kind of that situation where when you know you have to be quiet, it just makes you want to laugh even harder. So we're laughing and we're laughing, and eventually this woman turns to us and is like, can you girls shut the hell up? Some people have real health issues here. And of course, that just makes us laugh even harder. And so we're trying our best to keep it together when I hear my name called. We head into a small room, and a nurse hands me a hospital gown. She leaves, and I put it on, and of course I snap some cute pics in it. And when she comes back, she tells me, sit in the chair, spread your legs, and put your feet in the stirrups. I do as I'm told. Then she says, I'm gonna go up inside you with a speculum. I've never had that done before, and I don't even know what a speculum is, to be honest. But soon enough, there are these metal tongs shoving my vagina open, and this woman looking up there, and she's looking, and eventually she looks up at me, and she says, I can't find it. I'm gonna have to phone in the doctor. She leaves. My face is getting hot again, and my breathing is really shallow, and I'm about this close to throwing up, and I don't know if it's because of the hangover or the nerves or both. And honestly, God, I'm such a shitty friend. Nikki has this project due tomorrow, and if I'm being honest with you, this is not how I envisioned the start to my university experience. And it's also not how I envisioned that my life would end. And now I'm so homesick, and I just want this tampon to get out of me. Again, I start crying. Eventually, the doctor walks in. He's a man, which I'm not thrilled about, but he does have a calming energy to him. So I tell him the situation, and with a pause, he says, okay, I'm gonna have to go up inside you with some gloves. So he puts on some gloves and go up inside me. He does. And eventually, he takes his hand out of me and he says, ma'am, there is no tampon inside of you. And I'm like, no, there is. And he's like, no, there isn't. Are you sure you just don't remember taking it out? And then I think back to last night, and I remember the issue was more so putting a new one in and less so taking the old one out. And I think, God, maybe I did take it out. It's possible, I say. And he leaves the room. Immediately, I feel a pit in my stomach. God, how could I be so stupid? I am quite literally the definition of a white dumb bitch. I have wasted everyone's time today with a completely over-dramatized and completely just made up issue. God. We leave the hospital, and Mickey turns to me. She says, Mads, I have to do my project, and I have to do it now. So I'm a little bit pissed at this point because I just want to get home and take a cab, but whatever. I definitely owe her. She puts a scarf around my eyes, and we begin to walk down the street. At first, it's awkward and it's uncomfortable, and I keep bumping into things because she's supposed to be guiding me with just her voice alone, but she is awful at directions. And then we kind of realize how ridiculous we must look on this busy street in Montreal. And once again, we start laughing. We're laughing, and all at once, the absurdity of the entire day hits us in our faces. And by the time we get back to residence, we're in hysterics. We walk inside, and we realize that we've just missed the mandatory Sunday evening floor meeting. There's a bunch of people still lingering outside, and they're like, where were you guys? Why'd you miss the meeting? And, ever so slyly, I pull up my wrist with my hospital bands, and I'm like, oh, we were at the hospital, but don't worry about it. And then, in the corner of my eye, I see Arthur. And I wonder, did he wonder where I was during the meeting? And then I realize, shit, this is the first time that I've thought about him all day. And it's not like I didn't feel sad about him, it's that he was irrelevant to me. And although it has been a very long and stressful day, there's also been a lot of laughter and smiles. And it dawns on me that maybe without him, I can still be happy. And maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna be okay.